Many of Robert's poems, stories, paintings, and photographs are set in the Crescent City. His long poem, The Accomplishment of Metaphor and the Necessity of Suffering, set partially in New Orleans, is published by Headwaters Press, Medusa, New York. He has received an Illinois Arts Council Award for his 3 poems for Kabbalah. His books are available at Amazon and Lulu.com. You can see him on the web at robertkleinengler.com or on Facebook. His art is available through the On View Gallery. It's on Northwest Highway in Park Ridge. Robert, please.
Well, thank you everyone for coming. It's the first time in my life that I've been to Batavia, and I'm enjoying it very much. So what I want to do tonight is read you a story that was originally published in this little book, Slow Pull of Days. I kind of edited it down so that it's not too long and its dormific quality doesn't put you to sleep. So what I think I'm going to do is take off this jacket, loosen my tie, and we'll get down to the reading. The Theft of a Pencil. From the wide windows of the scriptorium, I see that a few clouds languish like stray sheep above the Malbruten hills. It is late afternoon, and the April sunlight stretches out blue shadows across the pastures. The warm weather means that the windows of the great hall are open. The sound of the brothers singing in the vineyard below comes up to us as half music and half mystery. From where my desk stands, I can also see the bend of the Misbar River. All the river's ice is melted, and a faint green is growing up from the banks to meet the wildflowers in the pasture. It is a joy to work in the tower, illuminating letters and watching the spring sunlight skip off the surface of the bright water below. My desk is its own country. It does not change with the seasons, but remains as constant as our daily rituals. From a brown prairie of wood, I see that a white lake of paper stretches to the hills of tools and implements. Pens and rulers sprout up like trees there. Beyond those hills and to my left are the mountains of boxes and baskets. Here, in the miniature land of letters, all the tools my hand needs to copy and illuminate reside as law-abiding citizens. This is how we work at the McGill Monastery. A master scribe draws the outlines of the letters on a fresh sheet of cotton paper. He is the only one who ever has a chance to erase. When the rest of us make our mark, it stays. We learn not to erase. Erasing makes nothing but a mess. If I make a mistake, I just draw a line through it and go on. After the outlines are made, a junior scribe draws the pencil marks over in black ink. If one makes an error here, it stands out like a star against the night sky. After the ink is set down, color is then applied. This is the job of many apprentices we employ. Finally, the work passes to the chief scribe. His job is to apply the gold leaf and paint. After weeks of effort by various hands, the gold touches the letters and they take on a life of their own. I am a junior scribe. I hope soon to be a master scribe. I've worked here for 5 years without ever ruining a document or wasting paper. I have been told on numerous occasions how good my work is and that it is just a matter of time before I'm promoted. I am patient, for I have no home outside the monastery. One day my promotion will come. The work does not lie. Before the catastrophe, there were great printing presses, but now we do all our printing by hand. Always we are looking to train new scribes. Some boys have a talent for handwriting, and we seek them out. When I came here as a mature man, I was accepted because the Master recognized my talent and valued that over my past. But when the young men come to us from the wilderness or the outlands, we test their talent first. If they are accepted, they are given small assignments. In the time before the catastrophe, young men had more freedoms, but those days are gone. If they come to the scriptorium, they have to follow a strict code of behavior. The new boy, Sedgwick, is just now getting used to our way of life. We all follow the same code. We agree to it because we want the peace and quiet that the work of letters demands. I will not say what I did before I came to this desk, but I will say I had my bouts of wrestling with darkness. Now, the Brotherhood has one of its duties, the preservation of all the writing we can find before the catastrophe. Our job is not only to make and illuminate new texts, but to preserve the names of the past. I have taken upon myself to do some of this work at night and in secret. I'm allowed to do this, for those of us who do excellent work by day are rewarded with candles. I use those candles in my room to copy into notebooks the stories I find about the affairs of men before the catastrophe. Recently, I had discovered a history that goes beyond even the weapons of horror used in the catastrophe. It is a history that tells of a time before the ancient time, a time when men knew not of machines, but of horses and bronze and their own power. At night, I copy into my notebook the saga of Hamanuti's ghost. No one knows I discovered this text in a shipment of donations from a rich merchant living near the frontier. I will tell no one about it until my translation is finished. But I have learned from this saga that the nature of men has not changed even up to our day. So it is, from where I sit in the scriptorium, I see all that happens in the Great Hall. I was shocked to see that the new boy, Sedgwick, was assigned a desk right next to Brother Archer. But then, why not? Brother Archer is the type of man who always makes a pass at the new ones, yet he always ends up being rejected by them as well. Brother Archer is a constant cause of embarrassment to us with his forward ways, but we keep him around because no one can draw flowers the way he can. The rich buyers want flowers on their manuscripts, so Brother Archer is left to carry on, and we follow after him, sweeping up the mess. Knowing what I do about Brother Archer, I was not surprised to see him steal the new boy's pencil. It happened the other afternoon when the new boy had gone to help the older brothers unload a shipment of paper. I just happened to look up from my work and to let my eyes gaze across the room to the soft light that was broadcast from the windows. I saw Brother Archer excuse himself. He rose from his desk and, with a swift motion, brushed by the new boy's desk and quickly grabbed the pencil from its cup and secreted it in the folds of his robe. He left the room and did not realize what I had seen. I turned my eyes back down to my work and bowed my head as if nothing had happened. It was then that I realized my heart was pounding and that I was as excited as the thief. Pencils are hard to come by these days. We have a supply in the storeroom, but once these are gone, we don't know where to find new ones. I knew what was going to happen next, and I had to do something to prevent it. The new boy was going to have to report to the master scribe that he had lost his pencil. There would be yelling and accusations. The new boy would be threatened with punishment or expulsion. What could he do? He has nowhere else to go and is really not fit for anything except a life of letters. In a few days after the new boy had spent some sleepless nights, Brother Archer will approach him and make this offer. If certain favors are granted, Brother Archer will solve the problem of the missing pencil because he knows the heart of the master scribe, and this knowledge gives him the power to help the new boy out of his predicament. But only if those favors are granted, and granted soon. I waited until our dinner was over. We lingered about the tables of Tandor. I walked up to Brother Archer and softly asked, "Dear brother, would you kindly give me the pencil you took from young Sedgwick's desk?" "What pencil are you referring to?" he asked deceptively. "I do not have his pencil. The young man is rash and careless, and he lost it. Didn't you hear the master say so?" "You forget, dear brother, where my desk is. I can see all the great hall from where I sit. I saw you take the pencil this morning as I worked." "You see much when you should see but letters, dear brother. God has given me 2 eyes." "Oh, you admire the young man too," Brother Archer said, flashing a sly smile. "Brother Archer, you forget that I was not always a man of letters. The rumors of my sins before I came to the monastery are perhaps true." "Yes, I have heard these rumors, but what can they mean? You are a man of the pen now." "That is true. And even though the pen is mightier than the sword, it's not difficult to fashion a sword from a pen. Please give me the pencil you took so that I don't have to sin again." At that moment, there was a silence between us. Brother Archer seemed to stop breathing. Then Brother Archer reached into the folds of his robe with his right hand. "Come closer," he said, "so that the others may not see." I stepped within a foot of his frame and could feel the hot air of his breath on my cheek. Suddenly, his hand slid into mine, and I held the cold wood of a new pencil. "Take it," he whispered, "and be off with you. I want no more to do with this or your scribbling." That night, when the others were asleep, I returned to the scriptorium. I placed the pencil on Cedric's desk. He never knew what I had done, but the next morning I saw his face light up when he returned to work and was greeted on his desk by the bright pencil he had thought lost. A glow of confidence came forth from the boy's face. When the master came by and saw him with the pencil, he nodded and grumbled, "I see the prodigal son has returned home." When the master moved on, Cedric turned to follow him with his eyes, but instead he caught mine. I winked at him, a sign of recognition. Cedric was taken by surprise, but then a broad smile grew across his face. It was hard to tell from where I sit, but I do believe he also blushed. The day ends with our hands stained by the color of our work, a boiled supper, a goblet of wine, and the conversation of brothers wait for us downstairs in Baskerville Hall. I will talk tonight to young Brother Sedgwick and share with him something of what I know about letters. Maybe we will continue to talk as the sweet days of spring skip into summer. Listen, the bells announce our work is finished for today. I set the pen down and let my eyes retreat from my desk to look beyond the windows towards a landscape of honey-colored light.